gentlemen, here's your host, Simon Mayo.
Thank you, welcome. Later on this evening, as they leave the studio, most of our audience will be walking on air. There isn't time to include everyone in the show, so most of the people tonight will escape exposure. Their guilty secrets will remain secrets. Their reputations will still be intact. And tomorrow, they will be able to hold their heads up and look the world in the eye. Most of them, but not you. Jackie Nally. Jackie, you're a star. Opera fans still remember you from the 40s and 50s when you topped the bill at Covent Garden. And there you are in Orpheus in the underworld. What the fans never knew was you used to take liberties with the lyrics, didn't you? Yes. And when you were supposed to be singing "Pass the glass, let us toast his last," you were actually singing "Pass the glass and stick it up his aria." And then there's you, Richard Mayrick. Richard, hello, you fancy yourself as an expert photographer. And when your wife, Julia, was giving birth to your son, you were there at the bedside, complete with expensive camera. You took wonderful shots of the magic moment. If only you'd remembered to put a film in the camera. And then there's you, Terry Wright. Terry, your brother John is a carpenter. 2 years ago, he asked you to help him out with a job for a chap in Surrey. The man was a bit of a pain, wasn't he? Always criticising. So when he was out, you took his favourite mug, peed in it, dried it over the toaster, and put it back on the rack, ready for the man's morning cup of tea. What a nice man you are. Thank you. Now, it might not look like this. Appearances can be deceptive, but we don't just let anyone into this audience, you know. One of the very, very strict rules is you have to be over 15. And sometimes it's a little bit flexible. For example, oh, madam, are you over 15?
Yeah.
You sure? It's just that you don't look over 15?
Yeah, I am.
Sure?
Yeah.
Bit of a disgusting smoothie, aren't I? But normally I'm very good at guessing people's ages. Let me just try and just pick someone up. Hello, madam. I'd say you were 30 years old. Would I be right?
Yes, that's correct.
30 years old, 2 months and 11 days?
Yeah.
Yes, trust me, I know. What's your name?
Maria.
Maria.
Maruth.
And where are you from, Maria?
Northampton.
OK, and you're here with your dad?
No.
You're not? Oh, who's that then? Your husband? Oh, I'm sorry. How old are you, sir?
24.
24? Oh, right. I'm very sorry. Can I just squeeze in here? Excuse me a second. You're 24. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Am I the first person who's ever thought you were a man of, at least 50?
Yep.
I am the first. What about... Yeah. But tell us about your honeymoon story. What's your name, by the way?
Simon.
Simon Maruth, husband of.
Yeah.
But your honeymoon story?
I haven't got one.
I think you have, Simon. So you want a prompt, do you?
Well then, bit of a clue.
You're at the airport. You were looked after rather well at the airport, weren't you, Simon? Doesn't take long, does it? We get there in the end.
Yes.
Why were you looked after so well, Simon Maruth?
Because I was pretending to be my father.
Right, OK, well, we're getting there. Why were you pretending to be your father, Simon?
Because he had an executive club pass.
Which guaranteed what?
Free booze, food, etc. Comfy seat, you know.
So you got all the upgrade treatment, courtesy of your dad?
Yeah.
And whose idea was that?
It was his, actually.
His idea?
Yeah.
So he's the guilty one?
You could say that.
And it was all his idea, and he's left you here to face the music. Isn't that typical of the 60s generation who are now parents? No idea of right and wrong. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
And they leave you here to take all the rack, eh? Isn't that terrible? Look into that camera there and say, "Thanks for nothing, Dad."
Thanks for nothing, Dad.
Where were you when I needed you?
Where were we when I needed you?
Where is he, by the way?
He's in Mexico.
He's not, actually. He's in seat 198, which is just down there. Stand up, Dad. Take your wig off. Take your wig off now. Sorry, sir. Yeah. Wonderful stuff. How do you plead, Dad?
Sorry, Simon, I have to say... guilty.
Guilty as charged. You can sit down now. Absolutely right. Give Dad a round of applause for flying back from Mexico tonight. Hello. Hello. Nice to meet you. Hello, sir. Do you think it's going to snow or something? Hello, madam. Hello. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
This is always my favourite part of the show, actually, because I walk along the line and they've got these lovely, calm expressions, and actually underneath they're thinking, go away, go away, go away, please go away. What they actually is, they look like, they're scared witless. They look like rabbits caught in headlights. That's what they do. And I don't know whether you noticed it, but there's a lady here who, when I mentioned rabbits, started twitching. Isn't that right, Mandy Simpson of Gravesend?
Yes.
Sorry, that was almost inaudible. Yes. Can I just squeeze in here?
No.
Hello, Mandy. You did twitch when I mentioned rabbits, didn't you?
Bit.
Just a little bit. Was there a rabbit in your past? It's a bit of a leading
Long
question,
time
really.
ago. I was very young.
Okay. And tell us the story of this poor rabbit.
Well, my younger brother, Richard, had a rabbit that when he went to play school every morning, you'd have to go outside the back door and look in the hutch to make sure it was there, stroke it and,
What was it called?
Nipper.
Did he love that rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so before he went to play school, had to go and have a chat with it. Okay, stop. Yeah, and then what happened?
Well, unfortunately, we got up one morning before he went to school and I went to check it and it was dead.
These things happen.
Yeah. And we knew it would upset him if he didn't see this rabbit.
So what did you do?
We propped it up with a brick.
Which, of course, always works, doesn't it?
Well, he was only about 5. you know.
Right, OK. So
We
you
just told him it wasn't feeling very well.
And that's why the brick was underneath its feet. So...
No, it was actually because it sort of died like that. So it was actually on its back.
Right.
So.
And your brother didn't notice that instead of running around doing rabbity things, it was, in fact, completely dead and stiff as a... whatever,
No,
stiff
didn't
rabbit.
notice at all.
That's a strange thing. And what's your brother do now?
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier. Where's your brother now?
I'm not quite sure. I think it's Canterbury.
Canterbury, on manoeuvres or something like that. Isn't it funny how people on this show got absolutely no idea about where their family are? He's not, actually, because he's here. Come in, Richard. How are you, Richard? In you go. Let's see a borough out of this from Mandy and Richard, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, civilians. Rubbish. I ain't said anything yet, sir. Household rubbish.
Aye.
Trash. It can be a problem, but at a block of flats in Wimbledon, they have an excellent system. Tenants place rubbish bags outside their doors. The caretaker disposes of them. Last year, the caretaker saw a rubbish bag outside a flat containing a leather flying jacket, riding boots, a candlestick, a teddy bear, and an expensive children's book. Now, when he returned later to dispose of it, the bag had disappeared and the flat was empty. A mystery? Well, tonight, a Miss Amanda Scully was arrested and is being held in the cells. She has no idea why she is here. But in a moment, we believe we will discover the truth behind the case of the lady and the disappearing rubbish. WPC Bird, bring the suspect in. Beer, darling.